This is the southern entrance to Joshua Tree National Park. I'm parked right outside the gate, almost literally, at the BLM free camping areas. Very close to I-10, very easy access. One of the first things that you come to is Cottonwood Campgrounds, the Cottonwood area. There is a dump station here. Fresh water is also available. There's another dump station at the west entrance, and those would be the only two dump stations in the park. The dump is $5, so very inexpensive. Cottonwood Springs is the first campground you come to. I was interested in taking some snapshots of some of the areas to see if I could fit an RV in. I definitely could. Bell Campground is the next campground on down the road. Most of these sites are back in, so you'll have to take off anything that you're pulling, but there's room side by side. What I recommend in these parks is to try to drive through with your rig if you're pulling one, and find a camp spot and a campground that you like, and go ahead and get the envelope, tag it, and then go get your rig and bring it in. It's not the greatest area to just drive your rig around, driving through these little campgrounds trying to find a place to park or would fit. So I took my car. This site, for example, is a good 50 foot long. It's only has one campsite, so I could pull my rig with my car right here. Some of them that are this long actually have 3 or 4 camp sites there, so you have to be careful, make sure you're not hogging up the entire location. The rocks in the park are just amazing. Most of the topsoil has been blown off or washed off down into the flatland. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but it just makes for very outrageous looking shapes, and lots of rocks have names. There's Skull Rock, for example. Ryan Campground is kind of in the center of the park. The very first site that I came to was perfect for my rig. I would have to back in, but plenty of room. There's also one of the favorite trailhead hikes is here. Sheep Pass Campground is another campground just down the road. There's quite a few group reservations here. I didn't see any single sites at Sheep Rock. One of the fascinating things about the desert here is that there are 2 deserts that co-join together. There's the Colorado Desert, which is on the western side, and the Mojave Desert, which is on the eastern side. The Mojave Desert is the one that most people think about when they think about the park, because the Joshua tree is one of the major plants that is associated with Joshua Tree National Park. With the Joshua tree and the rocks now, it's really starting to make a quite wonderful, spectacular landscape wherever you look, and you don't tire of it very quickly. You want to get out and walk almost on every little spot that you see, because the rocks are so different and so wonderful. 2 of the most amazing plants are here, the Soya cactus and the Joshua tree. The Soya cactus is an actual cactus, and in some places it looks like a cactus forest. It is so amazing to walk through these areas. However, you better be careful when they get thick like this. Don't brush up against them. We used to call them the jumping choya, because the needles would seem to just jump out at you and stick to you, and they're very hard to get out. You don't want to do that. Take it from experience. So be careful, but enjoy. They are beautiful, especially when they're flowering. The Joshua tree is amazing. It's actually a tree. If you get up close and look at it, it's got bark. This does not look like a cactus at all when you start looking at it from close up. But it is beautiful. They are large, and it is one of the main characteristics of the Mojave Desert.
Some places it's a little bit thicker than others. This is going down to Hidden Valley. It's a very narrow road, but it's not too narrow yet. A couple miles in.
One of the most spectacular things I believe about the park is that a people were found to have lived here, and after carbon dating, it was 9,000 years ago, close to 10,000 years ago when the people lived here. They lived along a river that used to flow through the area, and you can kind of see where the river might be here and there, since long gone. But there have been many, many artifacts found of these people in the desert. So this is what it looks like as you're exiting the south exit. Starts to get very narrow. You're going through some mountains. On each side of you, you are now in the Colorado Desert area, and just minutes away from I-10 and the free BLM camping area that is just outside the gates. It's literally about a mile from the entrance to the park.